Hello, everybody, and welcome to Is Revenue from E-commerce going to be the next big thing for pet publishers and bloggers? I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And just to make sure everybody can hear me, in the questions box that you see, would you please put in that, yes, you can hear me, and just so I know that everybody can hear okay. Awesome. I see Victoria, Lisa, Roslyn. Thank you all for joining me so much. We really, really appreciate it. My name is Rachel Shepard. I am the author and founder of My Kid Has Paws. By day, I am a social media manager, and I am also, of course, a pet blogger, animal lover, volunteer, and I'm currently getting my MBA at Santa Clara University in entrepreneurship. Today with me, I have John Roscoe Jr., the VP of Strategic Partner Development at Pet360. Thank you, John, for joining me. Pet360's network of digital resources for pet parents includes more than 30 of the top pet websites and reaches over 12 million pet parent households per month, making Pet360 the #1 online pet publisher in the U.S. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me, John. We really appreciate you being here. I also have with me my dear friend and fellow pet blogger, Melissa Clinton. Melissa is the award-winning indie author of the Returns book series. The Showstopper book in the book series is available now. She is also the founder of Barking from the Bayou dog blog and is a 2015 Blog Paws ambassador. She's also a married mother of 2 and a pet parent to her basset hound, Bentley, who is just the cutest, as we all know. And lastly, I have with me Tadas Deskneeks. He is the CEO and founder of Inside Warehouse. Inside Warehouse helps online publishers and bloggers to monetize content by selling content-relevant products directly on the site. Their aim is to bring e-commerce to every content site, app, and build a substantial revenue stream for social media and bloggers. So I am so grateful to have everyone with me today. And I want to start out by talking with John a bit and asking John a few questions. So John, I was wondering, so the food chain, exactly for pet bloggers, where does the money come from, and exactly how are companies interacting with pet bloggers these days?
Thanks, Rachel, for the warm welcome and for allowing me to share some of the insights today, and specifically getting into answering your question. It's kind of interesting. There's really a number of interesting ways that we, as either retailers or bloggers or individuals that are working with a brand, have to engage with that manufacturer, right? So what I'm going to show you is, it's a little bit heavy to look at, but I want to kind of walk through this real quickly and look at this in a format that allows you to understand how, as a retailer, we look at working with a manufacturer. On the left side, that column that you see there are all of the available buckets that dollars come in. So literally, from a manufacturer, you have the ability to work with their agency, their CMO, or their person in charge of the marketing side. You have a VP or Vice President of Sales. Under them, you have a local sales agent that will call on your local region, or depending on where you're located. In addition to that, depending on how you're buying, you have your marketing group within the distributor on how you acquire products. And then further down from that, you have a local sales agent in your territory. All of these individuals have dollars that are in their bucket for the year based upon their budget that they wish to use to accomplish 2 things. Those 2 things then shift to the right, which relate to the retailer. The retailer then has the ability to use any of these dollars to push for a couple things. One is either branding, so creating awareness and knowledge for that brand itself, the attributes and things that call it to make it special, and or sales. So idea there being to either bring in a new customer and or to get a consumer that you have today to buy that brand and then join a retention program such as AutoShip. So within our organization here, we literally have an agency and PR team. We have a media team and social group. We have our CMO and marketing director. We then have a VP of sales or merchandising, and then we have a merchandising team. And all of these individuals work with the manufacturer at all the different levels to use funding to accomplish those two tasks. So it's very unique in that if you're thoughtful about how you take advantage of dollars that are out there, you can really boost either your revenue incoming to you personally and or sales by interacting with all those different levers that are available to you.
Awesome. And so, John, I have a question then. As a pet blogger, where exactly will we be interacting with the team on the right-hand side, the retailers?
From the retailers, you really have the ability to push specifically on the agency and PR and then media and social. So call it the top of the funnel there. Mm-hmm. Those are really the ones that will set up specific sampling programs or engaging with you on content to show an offer. They'll pull some of that down from the lower areas, so if there's a specific offer to drive sales, they'll engage with you there. If it's branding around a Twitter chat, that kind of activity, those will be the groups that will help to create that activity or viewability for you. Excellent.
And then my question is, so for brands and merchants, what are they looking for in terms of from your audience, or why do they need you sort of as the intermediary for them?
So this for question 2?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So the thing that makes a retailer unique is their traffic, right? Their audience that's coming in. But the important thing that needs to be called out here, and this is a reality of the marketplace, you have to have something that's going to differentiate you. A traditional retailer, e-commerce retailer today, will not make it. The ability to ship litter, food, all those things in a competitive world where the cost of goods is being pushed down on the retail side, it fundamentally can't be sustained. So in order for an e-commerce entity to survive in today's market up against your Walmarts and your Amazons, you have to differentiate. You either need to specialize, you either need to partner with someone that has scale into other areas, and or create something completely unique that sets you out from the pack. Amazon's a great example, right? Their Kindle, cloud, and all the other things that they're able to charge a higher percent and get a better margin on to support their e-commerce activities. So I think that's very, very important. And one of the things that Pet360 did was they looked at content and built out a media platform to support new customer acquisition. By doing that, we created ourselves as a very big target and were recently acquired by PetSmart. So if we look at that in regards to a global view, you get a pretty good look at why this becomes important in the bigger overarching activity for merchants and brands, because we can reach the consumer in ways that become omni, right? And that's really where, at the end of the day, a brand that is able to touch a consumer regardless of where they are and what they're doing, that becomes a very a positive story for that brand. If we jump down, and I'm going to kind of go through these slides quickly just for the sake of time, what we do for our consumers is basically on the left there. Health support, retail, auto ship, a personalized platform. Obviously, we work with pet bloggers as well. And on the right, you see where that supports the brand. It's trusted content, it's rich media activities, shopper marketing, literally live events, and brick and mortar activity. So we have the ability to reach them. So what does that scale look like? Rachel, you had mentioned the number of consumers that allow us to influence that pet buyer, right?
Right.
Well, if we look at that, we're now approaching 13.5 million unique visitors to our properties every month. pretty dynamic when you think about the fact that you're only able to spend so much to bring in that user. And a lot of this comes from our content that we produce and publish for our users. It really resonates for them. If we look at that in regards to reach and what I'll call the page views, you can see where this becomes very important. While Pet Finder has more page views than us, the reality is they reach a smaller audience because there's consumers that are looking at 15 to 20 pictures of pets, right? So at the end of the day, it's the number of people you're interacting with in a specific group that matters. So this is just a quick snapshot of what I'll call those unique individuals across just a few of the properties on our platform. This is what really gets brands and merchants and marketers excited, because we can target these visitors and bring them in. On top of that, we have in-store traffic. In an aggregate, on a unique level, we're talking with 250 million individuals that have pets, which is a very important call out, within the marketplace, which at the end of the day leads to a sale and an engaged consumer, which is what we're all after. So hopefully that helps to shed light on some of the things that we do in regards to driving our overall activity.
John, that definitely does. Thank you so much. That gives us some great insight as to why e-commerce is the future for us as pet bloggers, definitely, and as pet parents even more so. So thank you for joining me, John. I really appreciate your time. And I am now going to turn it over to my good friend, Melissa. Once again, Melissa is the author of the Returns book series, the founder and author of Barking from the Bayou, which is a dog blog, and also Melissa is the 2015 Blog Pause ambassador. So, Melissa, with that, I'd like to ask you some questions. What is the current relationship or status quo between brands and pet bloggers? So I want to better understand exactly how does that relationship work?
Well, thank you for having me, Rachel. And I want to tell John I'm one of the impressions he gets every day, because the Pet 360 is a stop I make every single day.
Awesome.
The current relationship between brands and bloggers, if you'll look at this chart, the market is increasing so much for digital marketing, and it's mainly because it's right in front of you. It's immediate. So marketers are now realizing that's where they need to put in a lot more of their budget. So it's an 80% increase in 2015 in digital marketing alone.
Wow, that's a huge increase.
It is. Now, the brands benefit from working with the blogs because they get so much more traffic. Blogs give 434% more indexed pages and 97% more indexed links, and that's something that you just can't get on, say, print advertising. Brands with blogs that post at least 15 a month create over 1,200 new leads, and that's when a company such as Pet 360 has a wonderful blog, and because they send that out and we get it in our mail, we can look at it or go to their site every day and enjoy what they have to say and the information they bring. It's just it's easier to be there than to go through. I know my email has 80 emails in it every day. So
yeah, me too. And I also, I like how blogs actually allow websites to be dynamic as well, and so they're always changing. So there's more of a reason to visit, I think, is the take home.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's places where the bloggers can monetize now. It used to be people that blogged were a small portion of the overall advertising budget for any company. And now, because they're so popular, there's advertising space available. You can do sponsored posts, which are a post you do of a review or introduce a new product to company to your public, and the company sponsors you, or you get paid for that blog post. Affiliate marketing, I do some affiliate marketing, and I really enjoy it. I only market products that I use personally and can vouch for. But that's when you get a portion of the sale that comes from anyone that clicks from your blog to a product.
Right.
And uses your code, and that's a great way for bloggers to monetize. And then you have your e-commerce, which is your inside warehouse, which gives you an opportunity to represent thousands, literally thousands of brands that are available on your site through your inside warehouse store.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so each of those things that you mentioned thus far, those are excellent uses for bloggers as well. And which one of those do you think sort of resonates with you the most?
I like the affiliate marketing because, well, it's really a toss-up. I enjoy the affiliate marketing and the e-commerce because you're advertising for yourself as well as for the company. It's like my e-commerce, my store on my blog is called Bentley's Bargains.
Which I love.
So when I advertise it as Bentley's store. It's his storefront on my blog. And then the affiliate marketing, like I said, you can tweet or do blog posts on that, and it's very helpful to your general overall monetization.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Now you see on my screen now the advertising space that's available on most blogs, and I personally don't like to just have advertising all over the place. I limit my advertising to just a few products that I really stand behind and believe in. But there are a lot of different options to rent your space, and that's basically what your blog is your property. It's your apartment complex, so to say, and you can rent out which apartments you want and the sizes that you desire.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you are the landlord of your own website, I guess, in that sense, huh?
Exactly. Now, the affiliate marketing, there's three types of affiliate marketing. Is your unattached, which you really don't have any presence at all. You're not an authority. It's not in your niche, and you're just basically a middleman. And that would be one such as your Amazon. If you have an Amazon affiliation, people can buy books, or they can buy hardware, or they can buy pet food, and you're a pet blogger. But
Right.
They're open to a variety of anything Amazon sells they can buy from your site.
Right, which
So
is
that
almost
means
everything.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
And then your related marketing it's according to your niche. Like I have my dog products that I have because that's what I blog about is my dog. And people consider me an authority or a friend because they visit me every day, or if they just Google a certain product and I've reviewed it, they'll come to my blog. And then involved. It's something you use and believe in, and that's basically my advertising, or all things that are in my niche that I use and believe in.
Right. Awesome.
And then we go to your types of reviews, and this is a lot. Some bloggers don't do reviews. I do usually 1 or 2 reviews a week, and you can do a product review in exchange for, like, they send you the product and you try it, and it's no charge to you, but you do write a review. And then the sponsored post, like I mentioned before, is when you're paid to write the review. And then your opinion post, and that's they haven't sent you anything, and maybe just a product that you buy on your own and you want to tell your readers about.
Okay, and so in regards to the reviews, Melissa, quick question. So where do you get most of these contacts from? Are they contacts that you've met at a conference, or are they people who've contacted you, or is there a third party involved like BlogPaws?
Well, It's actually a combination. I did meet and the blogs at Blog Pause last year. I met a lot of the brands and the representatives, and we made a connection. And I've worked with quite a few of them. And then, like John said, the top of the funnel in a company is your social media and PR, and they will reach out to a blogger once they're on their radar. And I get a lot of products from them, but Blog Pause is just it's just been an incredible help to me, and that's one of the things, the Blog Pause effect is what I like to call it.
Oh, very
they're
cool.
they're such a big organization. There's over 4,000 members of pet bloggers, lifestyle bloggers, and they help with the like this past year, the statistics were 75% of the bloggers purchase the products that they review, and that's a huge thing for the companies and the brands that work with Blog Pause. And they had 75% of the members applied for paid campaigns, so it's something that bloggers are taking seriously. It's not just a hobby anymore. We're professional bloggers. We get paid for our work, and then the Blog Pause organization paid out over $160,000 last year, and that's a lot of money for income for bloggers like myself.
Definitely, definitely, and I agree. I've also been part of the Blog Pause effect, which I love the name, and I think it's fantastic what they're really doing in partnership with Pet 360 and putting us in contact with all of these amazing products and brands that we can review.
Right, and this year our conference is in Nashville, and we have so many bloggers and so many new brands that are going to be there that are helping to sponsor the event. Pet Safe is one of our biggest sponsors, and then we have, Dr. Harvey's. There's just so many that are going to be there to help and work with pet bloggers, and that's what Blog Pause has helped us to do, and that's where I met the Inside Warehouse last year, was in Vegas, and it's a huge conference that you learn so much on how to deal with brands and how to interact and become a better blogger.
Absolutely.
But they've helped with that, yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk e-commerce then on that note, in regards to Inside Warehouse, which is, I met them and as did you, and they have brought a really unique sort of presence to allowing us to make more money and allowing us to have another tool in our toolbox so that we can be profitable as pet bloggers.
That's true, and one of the really cool things about Inside Warehouse is that the algorithms pick up what your blog post is about, and the offering on your store that day pertains to your blog posts. If I did a blog post on a certain brand of dog food, the dog food would show up for sale in my store. So it's a tremendous asset to have.
Definitely, definitely, and also gives as well as discounts and things like that for our readers too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that you're selling quality products, and I've gotten rave reviews of everybody that's ordered off of my site. So I was real proud when people started saying how quick stuff came and good prices. So I'm real pleased with my work with the company.
Absolutely.
Just a couple of more things I had was the reason that readers visit our pet blogs and publishers, pet publishing places, is because the blogs are interactive. They can leave a message, we can contact them back. It's not like trying to get in touch with some of these big box stores, or you're on a personal basis with them. Blogs are immediate. I can change my blog in a matter of minutes and update it.
Right.
And bloggers can reach consumers that businesses just simply can't. There's people that don't get out. There's people that strictly do all of their business online, and that's where the blogger comes in, and the the e-commerce comes in through the blogging.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have made quite a few friends, including yourself, of course, Melissa, over the years through my blog, and I
Right.
definitely feel that my family and friends, even though I'm no longer a veterinary technician like I used to be, still ask me questions about products and things like that because I am a pet blogger and I am therefore their most immediate resource.
Right, and an authority. You don't just you research your products, you research, the information that you put out before them, and they know that, and they trust you to do that, because really the time is so limited on most people that are working and raising a family, and a pet parent, that to go through and look at every ingredient of every pet food, then see what's out there and the options that are available in health care, and we can do that for them, and
Right.
then they depend on us to do that and be honest with them.
Absolutely. Awesome.
The last slide that I have before we finish is just the fact of the different areas of blogging. I mean, if you have a cat blog, you can blog about, there's a bunch of different ways to blog about cats. Here are a few different ways that bloggers blog about their dogs. It's your general, just everyday, this is what my dog did. Breed specific, some people just give you information about, say, in my case, I would be just a basset hound information.
Right.
You have diet, like Slim Doggy's expert I turn to all the time for diet or questions on food. You have grooming, health issues, humor, which is where my blog falls into. Uh, there's rescue and adoptions, which I know, like Tuesday's Tales, they work on that every Tuesday. Then you have
Excellent.
special needs, like the Tripods group, and then training and your travel, like the Cascadian Nomads.
I
So
love
there
that
are,
blog. Love that blog.
I do too. I do too. There's just, there. It's like anything that you go into. There's something for everyone out there, and there's something for every brand to advertise on a particular blog, because your niche is out there being written about.
Awesome. And so, in summary, Melissa, I think that what we're trying to share here is that there are ways for us to monetize our blogs, and we and the work we do as pet bloggers is important for pet parents, and the future, I think, of pet e-commerce. And there are ways for us to monetize, and we just need to use the tools in our toolbox, and continue to be a resource for pet parents, however we choose to do so. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Tadas, who is the
Thank you.
No problem, Melissa. Thank you.
You
And I'm going
bet.
to turn over to Tadas, who is the CEO and co-founder of Inside Warehouse. And I would like Tadas to tell us a bit today about so we talked a lot about how bloggers have their relationships with different products and brands and what companies we work with. But there sometimes we come to a challenge where it's difficult for us to make real money. A lot of us do have a day job. So what are the ways that are out there for us to be able to better monetize our blogs and sort of reach another level of financial freedom, if you will?
Well, thank you, Rachel, and hello, everyone. Appreciate your questions, and I will try to do my best to answer this key question, actually, why it is so difficult to make real money in this space. So I think John and Melissa did a great job by covering the main aspects of, relationships between brands, merchants, and publishers or bloggers. What I'm going to do is to try to address a few main points on the business side and try to find a way how those relationships are monetized today and how we are going to make money from our audiences tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, why is it so difficult to make real money? Let's define what is real money first of all. So I think that on a publishing company side, can be, just stay in the business as long as you can. I'm not talking about, making profit. And for a blogger, maybe it's a full-time job. Let's define real money as a full-time job. You can do it, daily.
Right.
So what mostly affects the bottom line for both the publishing company and the blogger, as you see here, the interest overlap at some point, but the approach is very different. So for brands, for modern brands, the main goal is actually to build brand awareness, to teach users, create an amazing experience, to build long-lasting relationships with consumers. And of course, the ultimate goal is to make profit. If you take a look at the merchant, the goals are slightly different. Again, it's all about getting user data at any price, keep them coming back, and of course sell, sell, sell. So this is the main goal of merchant. And regarding the publisher or blogger, so it's all about engaging users by teaching them, by entertaining them, and by doing that, build credibility and, of course, long-lasting relationships. So even if these groups are talking with the same user, I think the language, the depth of conversation, the trust, and eventually the feelings behind those conversations are totally different. And those different approaches, of course, impact user behavior. And as you see from the statistics, 92% of consumers actually trust recommendations from their friends or families more than any other form of advertising. So it's probably a big challenge for the brands. And just 10% of consumers actually trust information from the brands today. So it's a sad numbers for brand companies, I think. Well, and eventually you can see it from the pure numbers. Actually, over 5.3 trillion display ads were displayed to US users last year. It's an amazing number. But the average banner ad had only 0.1% click-through rate. So the trend doesn't look good. I mean, nobody is clicking on display ads anymore. So this is a big challenge for brand companies, and I think as well as for publishers, bloggers, and everybody who is involved.
Definitely, because we definitely interact with or use advertising, and we want to make sure that if we're not getting the clicks, then we're not getting paid, right? So we want to see what's happening in the future for sure.
That's right. It's all about the bottom line. I mean, user behavior. You make money from user behavior at the end. So if nobody is clicking on your banners, retailer doesn't get any advantage of that. Probably it's only about brand awareness. So it's very difficult to make money on that for everyone. But still, I see a huge opportunity here, and eventually publishers or editors and bloggers can become super fans. And by saying super fans, I mean that vice versa is the same. Super fans can become publishers, and today, with social media, all the tools, social networks, you can become publisher instantly. So super fans are very important, and I think it's going to become a credible and highly trusted source of information. So you will have, as a consumer, you will have two options: to ask your friends or family, or to trust, those sources, bloggers, publishers, or whatever. Actually, we talked about user behavior, how it's shifting. So what does that mean for communication? So I see a few main challenges here. So actually, when consumers move into an active shopping phase, they have already picked their preferred brand. So the intense emotion and interest arose much earlier, so probably at the discovery phase. And when we are in active shopping phase, it's already too late to communicate because we already made a decision. Yeah.
Right.
The vast majority of conversations are still based on one-way communication because talk about the numbers. Last year, $24 billion were spent on display ads. So that means that brands are still trying to say something for our consumers, but consumer doesn't listen anymore. Users actually want to talk with brands at any time, which is the most convenient for them. So again, it's very different from the existing experience today. Users still need to communicate with a bunch of different people. So as I mentioned, you need to ask your friends, family, influencers, I don't know, retailers, brands. I mean, it's a bunch of people you need to talk with before you can make a buying decision or actually buy something online.
Right, and I definitely think that's also additionally true for pet parents because we're buying things for our pets who are our children and our family members, and so we just don't want to buy anything. We want to buy something that's been sort of stood behind by somebody we trust, right?
That's right. That's right. I mean, pets are our kids, so it's pretty much the same. You need to be sure that you are buying the right thing, So yeah, let's move to some. I'm not going very deep here, but technical issues. We talked with over, I think, 300 or 400 bloggers. We saw very different, cases, but what we found that there are some crucial obstacles which impact the bottom line or profit, if you want. So overcrowded site design or blog design, too many placements added to the page. Some of the bloggers still trying to make money from irrelevant ads, and I think it's a huge issue. Mobile version, responsive design, it's very, very tough for small site owners or bloggers to make it happen. So again, it's a huge obstacle. Measurement, and I would like to add accountability. The next big thing, because content marketing is still difficult to measure. Bad user experience. I'm not talking here about user experience on a certain blog site or publisher site. I'm talking about user experience after the discovery phase, when users are actually moving into active shopping phase. So again, when you click on a display ad, let's say on mobile, you are redirected to the retail site, and still there are lots of retail sites which are not optimized for mobile, let's say, and you cannot make a purchase. So that means that the publisher doesn't make money as well. So these are top technical issues, I think. All those challenges to communication, shifting user behavior and technical issues, it definitely have an impact on the bottom line or the profit for publishers. So brands are investing in brand awareness, but actually, as I mentioned, we do not control the full cycle of user experience. So we cannot measure the effectiveness of this investment. Merchants, on another hand, merchants are investing in sales, so we are not very interested in brand awareness and brand communication. So again, publishing sites or bloggers are not performing so so well regarding sales or conversions. So on one hand, brands do not want to invest into channels that are not measurable, but on another hand, merchants who actually invest usually tie it to the result or actual sales. So due to many reasons, the bottom line for publishers doesn't look good because of these two reasons.
So in that case, then I guess Inside Warehouse's goal is to bring those brands together with the publishers and make that, I guess, the interactions with the pet parents more accurate so that we're reaching a more targeted audience, right, and a better sort of relationship from a technical level as well.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, It's to connect brands, merchants, and publishers in one place, So again, large publishing companies like Yahoo or AOL understood quite early that the main asset we have it's not content, it's all about user data, and actually those who do not have user data, just trying to make money from the content, they will definitely face some issues at the end. So existing tools like affiliate networks, I think most of you utilize those, or display ads. Actually, they are structured in a way that every time your visitor clicks on it, he is redirected to a third-party site. Usually it's a retailer site, yeah? And this is what online retailers are looking for, actually. We saw that they can even bid a higher price to get user data and make a return on investment from subsequent transactions. So publisher at this phase actually able to make money only from the first lead or transaction, yeah. So this is kind of brings incremental revenue for publishers, but doesn't create any value long term because you already give away your biggest asset. It's user data. So actually, second key question is what's next, and
right. So is revenue from e-commerce going to be the next best thing for publishers? Right. That's what the question is. Perfect.
Yeah, so I will try to answer it in a short way. So if you take a look at evolution of advertising, so at the beginning of internet ads era, everyone was used to pay for impressions, and that was fine. Suddenly, advertisers realized that there were many factors which they couldn't affect and which impact the results of campaigns based on impressions. So began the kind of impacted and pay-per-click era started. So affiliate networks brought another angle, pay-per-action or pay-per-lead, and now we see that pay-per-sale model is getting popular, and I think this decade will be dedicated for this model, and it's going to be a dominant advertising model. We just know it's all about evolution. We cannot deny that. So again, I want to emphasize this because we talk with many bloggers and publishers. Some of them are still very actively trying to talk, about that content, all that stuff. But again, the e-commerce businesses are smart businesses, and what we actually is looking for, it's not your content. We need user data. That's it. I mean, we can do anything we want with that. So it's very important to know that. And my last slide is about what's happening now. And, I don't like to talk about the future much. So again, now we see that content plus user data plus seamless shopping experience can bring amazing results, and we saw even roughly 80% increase on the bottom line for pet publishers. This is the vertical we started our business. So, offering people a seamless experience can bring amazing results. So, e-commerce on the blog site enables visitors to discover and buy products instantly. Actually, it can be a game changer for publishing industry, for brands, and for merchants as well.
Awesome. So it sounds like we are in charge of the content as pet bloggers. Inside Warehouse provides us with the user data and the seamless shopping experience, or the platform for our visitors to be able to have that seamless shopping experience. And then we essentially are able to increase what we put in our pockets each month.
That's right.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so Tadas, I believe that's all you had in regards to the slides, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. So we want to go ahead and open it up to questions. So everybody's got a questions box on the GoToWebinar panel. If anybody has any questions, I would be glad to take them and direct them to the right guest we have here today. So, Tadas, I guess while we're waiting for some questions, I just wanted to talk a bit more about the Inside Warehouse app, basically, and how it's implemented, because I am a user of it, and I've used it on my blog. It's very easy to implement. I basically joke around and say if you've implemented Google Analytics, you can definitely implement Inside Warehouse very easily. Yeah, and it provides you with a great place you can also take that code and put it elsewhere. So it's very free to use within your site as well, right?
Yeah, we try to make it, again, seamless integration, because what we find out that, most of pet bloggers, or bloggers in general, they are not tech-savvy people. I mean, they utilize such platforms like WordPress or Blogspot, and to make them easy to implement is the biggest challenge for us, of course, but otherwise it doesn't work. I mean, if you ask, a blogger to spend like an hour or two on implementation, they are going to refuse, because the reason is that, it's not their full-time job. They have other jobs, and they don't have spare time enough, to implement and to make, big technical solutions. So it's all about easy implementation. In our case, it takes, up to 15 minutes or so to implement Inside Warehouse on your site. So just, a few lines of code, and then, that's it.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah,
and then Amelia wants to ask also, Tadas, how do we as bloggers interact with Inside Warehouse? So how do we sort of start that conversation and continue it from there?
Yeah. So again, it's you can just sign up on our site, and we'll start from here. What we do like is to do some demos prior, making a decision if you want to utilize Inside Warehouse on your site or not. So again, as you mentioned, as you mentioned as well, it's pretty much the same process as implementing Google Analytics on your site. So it's kind of easy.
Okay, perfect. And then Dana also wants to know, on a very high level, how does Inside Warehouse work? So thus far, we know that we get a code once we've signed up, and we sort of copy and paste it in certain parts of our site, which is easy, like I mentioned. But then moving forward, how does it work after that? So basically, on a high level, how is it presenting things to our readers?
Okay. So again, we wanted to make it very easy. So from the blogger's perspective, all you need to do is just to add a few lines of code on your site. From Insight Warehouse standpoint, what we do, we analyze the content on each of your page, and we try to find the products on our database from our selling partners, which actually matches the content in a very accurate way. And then we place those products within your blog post or article or whatever. From a consumer point of view, you can, read an article or blog post about your issue, and you can find a few product recommendations within the page, and you can actually add those products to your cart, which appears on blog site or publisher site. And the nice thing is that actually your visitor can complete the transaction and check out without ever leaving your site. So this creates, a complete experience, e-commerce experience, shopping experience on any content or blog site. From here, we will take care of fulfillment and delivery. So again, we work closely with our selling partners, distributors, manufacturers, e-commerce sites. We do customer support as well, so you don't need to take care of that. So I just say from a blogger's perspective, it's all about focus on creating quality content, and you don't need to take care of any e-commerce operation at all.
Excellent. And then we have another question. So can we select or exclude products that are shown on our site? Do we have, how much control do we have over that?
It's a great question. Actually, what we do now is enable any blogger or publisher to select brands, because at the product level, we have 20,000 products, I think, in pets, and again, it would be time consuming for any blogger or publisher to select certain products and place them on site. So again, we try to make it automatically, and what you can do is actually to put some brands into a restricted list, because again, we have over 1,000 brands.
Right.
And to select, to go through that list is, again, time consuming. So we're trying to make it easy.
Awesome. And then will the shopper leave the website is a concern, I guess, or question from the pet blogger's perspective, because of course we don't want a high bounce rate on our analytics side, right?
Again, great question. And I think this is the biggest advantage we have. So the user actually stays at your site. So from selecting products, adding them to the cart, to check out and complete the transactions, actually, visitor doesn't need to go from your site. So this is the biggest difference comparing to traditional advertising, because when somebody clicked on a banner ad, they are redirected. In our case, they actually can complete the transaction without ever leaving your blog site.
Right, and there's even smaller versions. There's smaller versions of the widget, from my experience, but there's also larger versions that sort of overlay our site. So they're still on our site, and they're still shopping in a larger sort of interface, if you will.
Yeah, that's another great feature, because we allow your visitors to come back on your site again, and we actually don't need to go through many different blog posts to find, the products. We can have a seamless shopping experience on a browsable e-store. So actually, we allow them to browse over 20,000 products in pets. Again, it's all on your website. I mean, it's all, optimized for search engines, and again, you have additionally like 20,000 new pages on your blog, and they are indexed by Google. So it's a big asset again, and it takes just 15 minutes to get there.
Awesome. And then, so how is a publisher or blogger able to monetize user data?
Yeah. So again, I want to emphasize that user data is the biggest asset. So again, we allow publishers to see who actually purchase what products on which pages. So publishers can optimize their content in order to get a better conversion rate. Publishers can send out, newsletters as they used to do, and now we can actually embed products which are highly related to the newsletter content. So again, there are lots of ways how can we make money from that. I'm not talking about social media, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever. So when you have products at your place, we are trying to advise publishers to act as an online retailer in some ways, trying to combine that with content. Because if you take a look at a traditional retailer, what we are lack of is actually content and audience who are engaged with that content. So this is the biggest advantage publishers have, and they need to use that.
Excellent. And I want to toss a question over really quickly to John. John, so from a blogger's perspective, how are we able to use Pet360's existing audience to work so that we can even, in addition to that, bring them over to our blogs so that we can continue to be that trusted source in conjunction with Pet360? How can we better that relationship?
No, it's a great question, and really it's participating through the BlogPause network is really the main avenue for that, because as a person on the Pet360 side, we're continually presenting the BlogPause management team, such as Chloe, which is one of the people that's founding there, with opportunities to then engage with the individual bloggers around typical brands where they get to sign up. And these are all of our users that basically we push through to different events through BlogPause, which creates that activity and increased traffic then back to your own site, to the specific blogger site, where they can then utilize Inside Warehouse to convert a sale. So there's some actually neat ways of interacting and pushing that through, and obviously sharing information back through links and whatever else through activity around PetMD is also a good way to utilize the content there to help boost your own activity on your own site. So taking advantage of our content and or our different sites out there is one way to do that.
Awesome. So it sounds like we as pet bloggers are able to use all these tools to make that happy circle that you showed us earlier of all the different ways we can reach pet parents. We can sort of build our own sort of circle to bring pet parents into our sites as well.
That's exactly right.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And then I want to toss a question over to Melissa really quickly. So Melissa, you and I have both used the Inside Warehouse app. Let's talk about how you optimize that presence. Where do you like to put it on your sites for those who are looking to start doing the same thing?
Well, I start with mine is at the bottom of each of my posts because it has the relevant products for that particular post, which is to me just amazing. And I also have just a tab at the top of my page so that you can go actually strictly to the store and see everything. Go to the different departments. So it's actually a tab and a banner ad at the bottom of my posts. And I want to agree with you, it is so simple because I am not tech savvy at all, and I did it with no problem. And if there is a problem, the Inside Warehouse people are there to help you and walk you through it. So it's very easy.
Excellent. Yes. And so the last question I have for you is then, so we have this app that we're able to use, and it's nice and simple and easy. But beyond that, wouldn't you agree with me that The app is also very low amount of work, which helps for those of us that are very busy and are doing this as a part-time in addition to our other parts of our lives.
Sure, it's really simple. It's just there for you. It's like you put your code in for each blog, and then it does the business for you. It's user friendly. The people can go in there and click through, and like Todd has said, the shopping carts there, you stay on your site, so you have more interaction on your site. But it's it's one click and you're done with it.
Excellent. So it's 11 o'clock, and I want to respect everybody's time, so thank you so much for joining me. If we didn't get to your questions, we can continue this conversation on Twitter with the hashtag #PetECommerce. So join us over there if you have some more questions. Of course, you can reach out to Tadas at Inside Warehouse and his team as well. They're wonderful to work with. I want to thank John, Melissa, and Tadas for joining me this morning. And in addition to that, for anyone who's attended, the link will be emailed to you, and this presentation will be available by download. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day.